Hello, Corey here from the BachScholar channel. I have a very interesting video for you today. This is a video on correct arpeggio technique. So, let's take the thumb and put it on C. The second finger will go on E. The third finger on G. Now, many of you who know how to play arpeggios already are in the habit of, or have learned to do a large arm motion with the elbow, to bring the elbow out in order to get the thumb under to go to C, in order to go to the other octave like this. So many of you have learned, and it's very traditional, many teachers teach this. After you play 3, a fairly liberal arm motion with the elbow goes out, the thumb goes under, and the same when you're coming back, the third finger goes over the thumb, the arm goes out. Okay? This might come as a shock to you, but actually I believe this is not an efficient way to play, and actually is incorrect. The better thing to do is to use more of your wrist and less of your elbow. It's a much more efficient way of playing arpeggios. So, watch this. After you play 3, the wrist goes over a little to allow the thumb to go under. Not a whole lot of motion with the upper arm. About 90% of the motion is with the wrist laterally rotating, allowing the thumb to go under to go to C. Now you're up. Now coming back, it's the same thing. The wrist moves. The wrist is the thing that moves, not the arm, the wrist. It's all in the wrist. It's all in the wrist. So, in order to prepare for this, I've developed a couple of exercises that'll help you do this. Okay, for the first exercise, we're going to put our third finger on G, and we're just going to hold it down like a pull. Then we're going to play 2 on E, and then 1 on C. 2 on E, 1 on C. And it'll rotate, it rotates around it. You'll pivot around your third finger like this. The wrist will do the pivoting. 90% of the pivoting, or even more, will be done with the wrist. A little bit will be done with the elbow. It's hard to not do any with the elbow. But please do not go out with the elbow like this. I see a lot of pianists doing this, and actually it's incorrect. It's not efficient. And actually, most pianists who use their elbow to go out have to do so because their wrist is stiff. If you play with an unstiff wrist, play with a flexible wrist, it will allow you to go under. Rotating your wrist like this. So, let's do this exercise. 3 on G, 2 on E, thumb on C. I'm just going to repeat that a few times. I see how the wrist is rotating around the third finger. Now, right when your thumb hits C, the split second it hits C, then you're going to let go and then come over here with your second finger. So the second exercise is, the first exercise was rotating around the third finger. Now we're going to rotate around the thumb. And then this will be like coming back. So we're going to play our thumb on C. By the way, play the thumb at about a 30-degree angle. Don't play flat. Do not play flat. Play at about a 30-degree angle. And now we're going to play 3 here, and 2 on E. Rotate your wrist around your thumb, like this. Look at my upper arm. Look at the upper arm. The elbow barely moves at all. It's all in the wrist. It's all in the wrist. The more you can do with the wrist, the better, like this. In fact, it's a good way to practice arpeggios is to keep your elbow affixed to your side. Watch this. My elbow will be affixed to the side. See? Totally flexible wrist. Totally flexible wrist. And the faster you go, the little less the movement will be, the quicker the movement will be. And this shows that it is not necessary to move the elbow very much. I see this a lot in arpeggio playing through my piano teaching. I see this a lot. I see look at the elbow. The elbow goes out, 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 out. Okay, you want to avoid that. Now, compare that with this, with a nice flexible wrist, with hardly any elbow motion. 100% fluent, excellent way to play arpeggios. This is the correct way to play arpeggios. So, let me just summarize this. 2 exercises. Hold your third finger down on G, play 2 on E, pivot your thumb under G. Like that. The second exercise, you're going to put your thumb on C at a 30-degree angle approximately. Third finger on G, second finger on E. And you'll pivot around your thumb, keeping it at about a 30-degree angle. Don't fall down like this. So it's not a flat thumb, it's a thumb like this, and that will help keep your wrist up high enough. Okay? So the same can be done with the left hand. I'm sure, if you're a pianist, you can probably figure the same technique out with your left hand, but same thing. You want wrist motion, hardly any elbow motion, so avoid doing this, avoid going out with the elbow, but do use your wrist. So these are very good exercises. It's good to be able to do these with your wrist. Loosen up your wrist so you can have that lateral motion. So you can play nice, fluent arpeggios. Look at my upper arms. My upper arms are barely moving at all. My wrists are fluent and flexible. Fluent and flexible wrists, but not very much elbow motion. It doesn't look good to do that, and it's not good piano technique to do a lot of outer and inner movement with your elbows. Keep it to your wrists, and I guarantee that your arpeggio technique will improve dramatically if you give this consideration and practice this diligently. These exercises, this one and this one here. So thank you for joining me today on correct arpeggio technique and exercises that will improve your arpeggio playing.